Hi everyone, I'm Julian Gau, Artistic Director of the Horizon Ensemble, and I'm here with soprano Jessica Bloch.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hooray!
Yay.
So we're about to perform We Will Outlive Them, Letters to Rivka from Galicia, a piece that Jessica commissioned from composer Quinn Gutman. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history behind this piece?
Yes, so I had come across a whole bunch of family letters that were spanning from just around World War I or end of World War I through World War II, where my family was writing to my great-grandmother Rivka. And my great-grandmother Rivka was already in the United States, but her entire family was still in Galicia, which is now modern-day Ukraine. And so they were detailing their lives and what they were experiencing essentially between World War I and World War II in that part of Eastern Europe.
And so in this piece, there are 11 letters, and we're very fortunate to be premiering the new orchestration. How exciting!
Yay.
A new orchestral arrangement and featuring multiple singers for the different letter writers. There are 5 authors. Can you tell me about the 5 members of the family?
Yes, so each singer is representing the author of the letters, my family members. So in relation to my great-grandmother Rivka, the family members are her father Moshe, her brother Israel, her sister-in-law Bronsi, their daughter Jizu, and her nephew Chaim, who is the son of one of her other older brothers named Fishel.
And if you get confused, we'll have a family tree printed in the
Yes,
program.
yes, we
So
will.
don't worry. Now, it's been really interesting to dive into this music, and, well, I orchestrated it, hooray, and I really was happy to get the chance to take a very close look at what music makes it tick, and also kind of transfer it into the orchestral world. And when I talk with Quinn, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But in the letters themselves, I feel like letter writing is kind of a lost art in a way. Do you think? I mean, I don't really write letters.
Yeah, I mean, well, nowadays we have text and we have all sorts
Yeah.
of shorthand and
I mean, I write beautiful emails, but it's not the same.
yeah, and for the time, the letters were written in Yiddish, but they were actually translated to English by the late Hannah Bayer, who did that back in the 1960s. So still a time when people would have definitely been writing each other letters. The internet isn't around yet, and so she did a very close word-for-word translation of the entire thing, and really captures, I think, a lot of what they were experiencing, as well as the love that they had for each other. So as much as there are some really horrible hardships that they went through, there's a lot of love they have for each other that is really poetically expressed even in the English.
It's really beautiful to me that over a century to 80 or so years, so the last one is 1948, right?
Yeah.
Over these many decades, we can still feel, again, the love they have for each other. And there's real poetry in some of these lines. It's very interesting. Some of them are more mundane, where it's talking about, marriage prospects, things that have happened to us. Pesach is coming up soon. But there are some very poetic things that they observe, and, especially the ones we were just looking at. What you don't take care of now, you'll never get back, for example, right?
Yeah.
And I think it really speaks to how this humanity in these letters really has come to us through the ages. So it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I think even though I'll be singing Bronsi's letters, the sister-in-law of Rivka, some of my favorite letters are actually Moshe's, because he is so expressive and you just feel the fatherly Jewish guilt that that he puts on Rivka. Or also there's another family member of his that made it to the States, his brother Isaac, who Rivka's actually living with. That's not common knowledge from the letters themselves, but what our family knows is that when she first came, before she got married, she was living with her uncle Isaac. And so he talks a lot about the different Isaacs in their lives, and how he's upset that no one has written him. The truth is they probably did, but letters got lost very easily with the wars and everything that was happening. So,
I see.
Yeah.
And going back to 2024, so how did this idea come across of turning these letters into music?
Yeah, so I at first thought, oh my gosh, we should write a book. However, there is so much missing. So for example, we don't have, Rivka's responses.
Right, okay.
And there's a lot of holes in there that I didn't feel it was right to fill up with historical fiction or something that might not have been said or wouldn't have been true to what they would have said to each other. And then I was also thinking, well, song cycle's great because they went through so much like hate crimes and people like being starved to death and things like that, that's really hard to just read in a book or to hear spoken in a play or something like that. But with music, it just makes it that much more digestible. The music can fill in those gaps as well between what we don't know. And that way it's truly their words, their voices being brought here. Yeah.
So that's where this idea came from, and
Yeah.
we asked Quinn, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
Cool.
pretty much. So
I'm really excited for this show. What do you hope that audiences will take away after hearing this piece?
yeah, that's a great question. So I hope that the main thing that people take away is to have a lot of hope and to remember that we are all just peopling and trying to exist and having families and people that we love in our lives. And I think that's the most incredible thing about these is even though almost a century has passed since at least the first letter, they like a lot of the things they talk about are things we still experience today. And so I think that part, just remembering our humanity in each other, is what I would love for people to get from this.
That's really beautiful. I really appreciate that. I see this show in conjunction with Different Trains, the Steve Reich, as really talking about history and how it's come down to us, how we make art with it, and how community and resilience will get us through. That's what I think. What's the meaning of We Will Outlive Them?
Yes, so We Will Outlive Them. The reason I wanted that for the title was because that was the hopeful cry of the Jews in Poland. So Poland, I don't know how common knowledge this is for people, but 90% of Polish Jews perished between World War I and World War II. And so like Warsaw Ghetto and the many other ghettos and camps that existed in Poland, the main line that went around to give each other hope was "We will outlive them," and so that's why it's named for that resilience.
It's a very powerful phrase, and we took it as the title for our show too.
Yes,
So.
yes.
I'm excited. So
Me too.
if you're around Boston, or if you want to watch on live stream, this Saturday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m., you can tune in, or of course come in person to We Will Outlive Them with the Horizon Ensemble. Anything else you want to say to Horizon fans out there?
Please come, enjoy. I know it's going to be a heavy performance, but I hope you all have a lot of hope in humanity, hold your loved ones close, and we're excited to share this story and these works with you.
Alrighty, thank you Jessica, thank you to you for being in community with us, and we'll see you on Saturday.
See you Saturday.
See you.